Alright, let me say something that a lot of gun owners do not want to hear. Buying more ammo is not always making you better prepared. In a lot of cases, it is doing the opposite. It gives you the feeling that you are staying ready, that you are checking the box, that you are getting ahead. But then months go by, your skills look the same, your range habits stay sloppy, and those extra boxes just sit there like expensive comfort blankets. That is the trap. A lot of people are still buying ammo the way they did when shelves were empty and panic was everywhere. But this is a different moment now. So in this video, we're going to talk about why that habit is costing you and what smart shooters are doing instead. Why more ammo is not fixing the real problem. Alright, let's get into the part nobody really wants to admit. A lot of people believe that stacking more ammo automatically means they are getting better prepared. It feels productive. You walk out of the store with a few more boxes, you stack them up, and there's this quiet sense that you're doing the right thing, like you're staying ahead of something. But if you step back for a second, you've got to ask yourself a simple question. What actually changed? Because having more rounds sitting on a shelf does not tighten your groups. It does not fix a rough trigger press. It does not make your draw smoother or your reload faster, and it definitely does not build confidence under pressure. That only comes from how you train, not how much you stack. And this is where a lot of people get stuck without even realizing it. They keep buying ammo as a substitute for progress. Instead of improving how they shoot, they just increase how much they own. It looks like preparation from the outside, but in reality, nothing is moving forward. The skill stays the same, the habits stay the same, and the only thing growing is the pile. You see it all the time, guys with cases of ammo sitting at home, but when they hit the range, it's the same patterns over and over again. No structure, no focus, no real goal, just burning rounds and calling it training. And that's where the disconnect is, because the problem was never a lack of ammo. The problem was always a lack of direction. The 2020 habit people still haven't dropped. Now, let's talk about the habit that is still hanging around years later. And honestly, this is a big one. A lot of gun owners are still buying ammo with the same mindset they had when everything went sideways. Back then, people were not shopping calmly. They were grabbing whatever they could find because nobody knew what the next week was going to look like. Shelves were getting cleared out, prices were jumping, and every trip to the store felt like a race against everyone else. That kind of moment changes people. It trains them to think that if ammo is available, you buy it now and sort it out later. And for a while that made sense. But the problem is that a lot of people never really left that mindset behind. The panic cooled off, supply came back, shelves filled up again. But the habit stayed, so now you have people buying from memory instead of need. They are not always asking what they actually need for practice, what they already have at home, or what role that ammo is supposed to fill. They are just repeating an old response that was built in a very different moment. And here's the part that matters. A lot of those same people are still sitting on ammo they bought during that rush. Cases in the closet, cans in the safe room, old bulk packs shoved into corners and half forgotten. So when prices look better today, it is not shocking that many buyers are slower to move. Some of them are already stocked deeper than they want to admit. Others are still buying small amounts almost out of reflex because that old shortage era taught them that passing on ammo feels risky even when the shelves are full. That is why this topic matters, because if your buying habit was built during panic, then your buying habit may still be stuck in survival mode, even when the market is telling you something very different. Why buyers are pulling back even with better prices. And this is where the conversation gets more real, because even when prices look better, a lot of people still are not in the mood to buy the way they used to. On paper, the deals look good. You see 9mm at a price that would have made people lose their minds a few years ago, and you would think buyers would be filling carts again. But that is not how real life works. Real life does not happen on a price tag alone, because cheap is relative. Ammo can be cheaper than it was during the shortage years, and still feel expensive when everything else in life is pulling money out of your pocket. Grocery bills are up, utility bills are up, repairs do not wait, family needs do not wait, and the average shooter is looking at all of that before he starts thinking about whether he wants to stack another case in the garage. That is why this market feels strange to some people. The shelves are full, the panic is gone, the sticker shock is lower, and yet the buying energy is still missing. But it is not because people suddenly stopped caring. It is because a lot of buyers are stretched. They may want the ammo, they may know the deal is is decent, they may even tell themselves they should buy now while prices are softer. But then real life steps in and says, not today. And let's be honest, a range day is never just ammo. It is fuel, it is time, it is targets, it is wear on gear, it is everything around the ammo too. So for a lot of people, buying a few boxes is not the whole cost. It is the start of a bigger expense. That changes how people think. It makes them slower, more selective, and a lot less emotional at the counter. So yes, prices may be better, but better prices do not always create eager buyers when the rest of life is still hitting hard. Fear no longer moves people like before. Now, here is a shift that says a lot about where things stand today. Fear does not pull the same trigger it used to. There was a time when one loud headline, one rumor about restrictions, or one political twist would send people rushing to the counter like the last box on earth was about to disappear. It did not take much. The reaction was quick, emotional, and sometimes a little too predictable. Buy now, think later. But that reaction has cooled off. People have seen this movie before. They remember the rush, the empty shelves, the sky-high prices, and then the slow return to normal. That cycle burned itself into memory. So now, when the same kind of noise shows up again, the response is different. Instead of jumping, people pause. Instead of grabbing everything, they start asking questions. And that changes everything, because once fear stops running the show, the buying pattern shifts with it. The urgency drops. The impulse fades. Buyers start acting like decision makers instead of responders. They are not ignoring what is happening around them. They are just not letting it push them into the same loop again. That is why you can have chaos in the headlines and still see full shelves at the store. The old pressure tactic does not land the same way anymore. People are thinking, not reacting. And when that switch flips, the market has no choice but to follow. What smart shooters are doing instead. So now let's slow this down for a second and ask the real question. If people are not buying ammo the way they used to, what are they actually doing instead? Because they did not walk away from shooting. They just changed how they approach it. And this is where you start to see a clear split between people who are still stuck in old habits and those who are getting real results. Training without burning money. Let's start with something that used to get ignored, but now is getting real attention. Dry fire. A lot of shooters used to treat it like an afterthought, something optional. Now it is becoming part of the routine. People are working on trigger control, grip consistency, draw speed, sight alignment, all from home. No range fees, no ammo cost, no wasted time. And here's the part that surprises a lot of people. When you do it consistently, you start seeing improvements that carry straight into live fire. Your shots tighten up, your control improves. You are not guessing anymore. You are building patterns that actually stick. More purpose, less noise at the range. Then you look at how range time itself is changing. It is no longer about how many rounds you send down range. It is about what those rounds are doing for you. Instead of showing up and just firing without direction, more shooters are walking in with a plan. They are focusing on specific drills, paying attention to mistakes, adjusting between shots. That alone changes everything, because now every round has a job. You are not just making noise, you are making progress, and when you train like that, even a smaller amount of ammo starts to go a long way. Buying with a reason, not a reflex. Another big shift is how people are actually buying ammo now. Before, it was simple. If it was available, you grabbed it. No questions, no second thought. But now, buyers are slowing down and thinking it through. What works best in my setup? What do I actually use for practice? What do I trust for carry? Those questions are starting to matter more than price alone. People are not just chasing deals anymore. They are choosing with a purpose. Skill over stacking. And when you put all of this together, the mindset becomes very clear. It is no longer about how much ammo you can stack. It is about how well you can use what you already have. That shift is what separates someone who just owns ammo from someone who is actually improving. Because at the end of the day, boxes on a shelf do not make you sharper. What you do with them does. Build a 3-level ammo plan. Now let's bring this all together, because this is where most people either stay stuck or finally get control of what they're doing. If you're going to buy ammo, there has to be a system behind it. Not random boxes, not impulse deals, not just in case stacking with no structure. A simple plan changes everything. Level 1, you're ready to go ammo. This is the ammo that actually matters the most, and yet people sometimes mix it in with everything else. This is your carry or home defense ammo, the stuff you trust, the stuff you have already tested in your setup. You do not need thousands of rounds here. You need reliability, a few hundred rounds that you know run clean, cycle properly, and hit where you expect them to. This is not the place to experiment or cut corners. This is your top tier, and it should always be set, checked, and ready. Level 2, your working ammo. This is your training supply. This is what you actually use on the range. The rounds that build your skill over time, and this is where a lot of people either overdo it or completely ignore structure. You do not need endless piles, but you do need enough so that you can train without hesitation. Enough that you are not thinking twice about every trigger press. This is your working stock, the ammo that gets used, replaced, and rotated. It should support your routine, not sit untouched. Level 3, your backup reserve. Now, this is where people usually go to extremes. Either they ignore it completely, or they go all in without any limits. The smarter approach sits right in the middle. Your reserve is your long-term cushion. Ammo that is stored properly, sealed, and kept aside. Not for weekly range trips, not for impulse use, but as a backup that you hope you never have to rely on. This is where planning matters. Not panic, not guesswork, but a clear idea of how much is enough for your situation. Why this system works. And here's the part that ties it all together. When you break your ammo into these 3 levels, something changes. You stop guessing. You stop overbuying in one area and neglecting another. You start making decisions with clarity. You know what is for use, what is for practice, and what is for backup. And once you have that separation, every purchase has a reason behind it. No wasted money, no clutter, no confusion. That is the difference between stacking ammo and actually managing it. So let's make this simple. Buying more ammo is easy. Getting better is not. And a lot of people have been choosing the easy part for way too long, because stacking boxes feels like progress, but it is not. Progress shows up in how you train, how you think, and how you use what you already have. That is where the real difference is made. So here is the question you need to ask yourself before your next purchase. Are you actually improving or just collecting? If this hit a little too close, that means you already know the answer. Drop a comment and tell me how you're training right now. Hit like if you got value from this. Subscribe for more straight no-nonsense breakdowns like this. And send this to someone who keeps buying ammo but never seems to get better. See you in the next one.
Listen.